on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, looking at the clouds and looking at 41 degrees right now at MBS International Airport. It is 43 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland coming in at 41. Downtown Bay City coming in at 42. We do have a southeast breeze at about 8 miles per hour. Barometer is falling off for a very good reason. We have a couple of low-pressure systems that are going to be affecting our weather here over the next 2-3 days. So we'll see not only some warmer temperatures because of them, but we'll also see some precipitation. Matter of fact, over the next couple of hours or so, some of you might even see a little bit of sun out there. Clouds, mist, wet over the southern third of the lower peninsula. Yesterday, we didn't see much of anything here in the Great Lakes Bay area, maybe 1/100th or 2/100ths of an inch, but that was it. You go a little bit further south, though, the amount of precipitation, the amount of rain in the gauge started to add up just a little bit. Anywhere from a trace to a tenth of an inch was very common all across central Michigan. But you get into other parts, first of all, of the country. 7 tornadoes in the central and southern plains over the last 24 hours, as a couple of systems will be taking shape and developing. This is typical spring-type weather, where we see these systems develop over the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, Kansas, and then move in a northeasterly direction up to and around Illinois, and either taking a track through Wisconsin or a track through just east of Michigan. And here we are, one side or the other. So if it's over in Wisconsin, we're getting some much warmer air and a chance of some thunderstorms. And that's exactly what we are going to be looking at as we go through the next couple of days. As I said, trace to maybe a tenth of an inch, very common here in central Michigan. You get down toward the Flint area, that's where things begin to accumulate. The southern third of the lower peninsula, we saw rainfall amounts of anywhere from 0.3 of an inch to 1 inch and 0.3. The 1 and 0.3 occurred just south of Brighton and north of Ann Arbor yesterday, and during the evening hours, 1.3 inches officially reported in Whitmore Lake. Now, along 69, as I said, Flint had a little bit more out at Bishop Airport. They were talking 0.55 of an inch. Owasso had 0.54 of an inch. You get over to Lapeer, they were close to a half inch there. And down by Fenton, they were looking at a little bit closer to 0.6, and in some cases south of Fenton, 0.7 of an inch of rain. More is on the way as we go through the next couple of days. It does appear right now as though the bulk of the precipitation, most of it, is going to be in the immediate Great Lakes Bay area and areas to the immediate north. But you get a little bit further north, precipitation pattern drops right off, and you get south. Again, south of 69, precipitation tallies will be a little bit less there, but more turbulent air is going to be moving into that part of the state of Michigan as we go through the nighttime hours tonight, the early morning hours tomorrow morning. And then once again, we will be looking at a chance of some precipitation moving into the morning hours through the midday and into the early afternoon tomorrow afternoon as everything finally cruises out of here. You'll know when the systems begin to move out, simply because the wind direction will be changing just a little bit more westerly as we go through the day tomorrow. But early tomorrow morning, we will have a southwest breeze, and it will be gusting up to about 45 miles per hour. And along with that is going to come the threat of some thunderstorm activity, very possibly some hail, because, again, the atmosphere this time of the year is very conducive to the formation of hailstones and sleet-like weather. Obviously, with temperatures hovering around 60 degrees tomorrow morning, it's not going to be sleet, but it will be ice, and it will be in the form of hailstones if we do get it. If that particular system happens to just track across your backyard. So what are we looking at right now? Clouds, widely scattered shower activity moving in later on this afternoon. I got a funny feeling probably after 2 o'clock, we're going to begin to see some moisture, some isolated light rain shower activity move in. And then by later in the afternoon and the early evening, about supper time, that's when we're going to see the bulk of the precipitation move through the Great Lakes Bay area, and the temperatures will continue to rise. We'll be working our way into the 50s as we move into later this afternoon and early this evening. I think our high temperature for the day today will be right around midnight. That's when we'll be looking at close to 60 degrees. And then overnight, temperatures really aren't going to drop off all that much. Again, our high temperature for the day tomorrow will be right after midnight tonight. And the cloud cover activity will still be around. There will be some rain shower activity early in the evening and then early on Saturday morning. So we've got 2 waves of precipitation. The majority of the precipitation will occur in the early morning hours on Saturday. Total accumulation in the rain gauge, if you've got one out, you won't have to worry about the water freezing in it. Temperatures are going to be maintaining well above freezing levels all the way through the weekend. We are looking for a temperature tomorrow night as after that cold front moves through, dropping down to about 35, but that's it. Then on Sunday, with a mix of sun and clouds, we'll be hovering around 56, 57 degrees and a low of only 46 on Sunday night. So the big change as far as anything goes is going to be the frontal system moving through about noon, 1 o'clock on Saturday. The warm temperatures of unseasonably warm temperatures will be working their way out as we go into the afternoon hours on Saturday. The low pressure system causing all of this will be moving up through Wisconsin, through the Upper Peninsula, and eventually in eastern Ontario province, western Quebec province, well up into Canada as we move through the day on Saturday. So temperature-wise, high temperature for the day right at midnight, about 60 degrees. The record high on the state is 62, and that was set back in 1974. So we very possibly around midnight could have a record high temperature or close to it in the Great Lakes Bay area or in other areas of the state. 64, 63 degrees, not out of the question for a high temperature on Saturday. Again, that's going to be right after midnight, early morning hours, dropping down to 35 for a low tomorrow night. The winds will decrease in speed and change in direction from the southwest, gusting to 45 in the morning. Evening on Saturday, west winds gusting possibly up to 35 miles per hour. And that gusty wind is going to be with us during the day on Sunday. We'll have a southwest wind gusting to 35 miles per hour to go along with the 56 degrees for an afternoon high temperature, 46 for a low with clear skies on Sunday night. Then on Monday, sunshine, 65 for a high, 38 for a low with a few clouds around on Monday night. Another system will be affecting our weather during the day on Tuesday. I think as we go through the day, the chances of rain will increase on Tuesday. 55 for a high, 35 for a low on Tuesday night. Wednesday, still a chance of some precipitation. The best chance is going to be in the morning hours and during the day. A little bit cooler on Wednesday. We're looking for a high temperature of the middle 40s for a high and the mid 20s for a low on Wednesday night. Then moving into Thursday, sunshine. We're looking for a high of 42 on Thursday. So right now, it looks as though the warm weather, there's an end to it. as far as the temperatures go. But once we move into the middle part of the work week next week, because our long range outlook now, and I'm not necessarily talking about this weekend and the first few days of next week, but toward the tail end of next week through the weekend and into that week of St. Patrick's Day, and for that matter, through the end of March, our temperatures are going to be averaging below normal for this time of the year. Precipitation pattern will average out as well. Record high in this date is 62, set back in 1974. The record low 5 below zero. That was set in 1948. Sun will set this evening at 6:32, rise tomorrow morning at 7:02. And don't forget, set those clocks ahead, spring ahead on Saturday night and early Sunday morning so you don't miss church, okay? A year ago today, our high was 35 and our low was 25, and we had a trace of precipitation. The warmest ever, 6th of March, 1974. 62 was our high, 38 was our low. The coldest ever, you got to go way back to 1913. 11 was our high, 1 was our low. And the snowiest ever, 1971. We had a little bit better than 6 inches of snow on this date. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Doug Klein joining us today, along with Kevin Pike from Star of the West. But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. You know, it's all about being prepared. Protect yourself against the bad and take advantage of the good. That's what it's all about when you work with the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Remember, they're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. You can get a hold of their agents directly on their cell for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office. Office number is 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. We say good morning, first of all, to Kevin Pike over at Star of the West in Frankenmuth. Kevin, how you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing pretty great here, Terry. This is our third Friday in a row that it seems like wheat's trading over like 20 cents here, so can't be doing bad with that.
Yeah, not too bad. You know, wheat hasn't been doing all that bad lately, has it?
No, we had quite a sluggish start of this week, and you would think that with the conflict over in the Middle East and energy prices, you would think that you would see this rally kind of happen earlier in the week, but we'll definitely take it today. And it doesn't help that it seems like there's a significant short covering, and it appears that the market could actually shift into a net long position, which would be the first time since 2023 that has happened.
Really? Gosh, we're talking 3 years.
Yeah.
And as far as the other markets, how are they faring?
Yeah, corn is up again here, seemingly riding the bullish wave across the markets here as energy prices surge in the turmoil in the Middle East. But May futures are at their highest level since May of 2025, actually, and exports remain steady, even though the U.S. corn is currently overpriced relatively high to the rest of the world market. And soybeans, they're finding themselves up today about 15 here, and that's also being tagged along with the energy futures surging and the turmoil in the Middle East. But also there's some bullish activity with some support of the potential U.S. and China trade developments with the U.S. and China scheduled to meet later this month.
Right now, it looks as though some of these growers are getting what they've been praying for. That is better
Yeah, a
prices.
lot. Yep. Yeah, a lot of these growers, they're pretty smart to put in some open orders, and those have been filling like crazy here today. So
I would imagine. I would imagine. So right now on the board at Star of the West, what do you have, Kevin?
yeah, on the board, cash wheat is up 20 at 584 on the white, 509 on the red. New crop is up 19 at 602 on the white, 517 on the red. Cash corn is up 3 at 402. New crop is up 3 at 431. And cash soybeans is up 15 at 1114. And new crop is up 9 at 1071.
Well, no surprises now for the afternoon. Let's just keep it moving in the right direction, okay?
Yep, and hopefully this can extend into next week.
Yeah, we'll take that too. Kevin, you have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You as well, Terry.
You bet. Kevin Pike over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me right now for not only the ag prices, but some of the other contracts that affect our lives each and every day. Market Report brought to you by Thumb Bank. They do keep up with those changes as well as industry trends and changes in your operation. You know, it all ties together. And they've been doing it since 1895, so they got a pretty good idea how to take care of you when you have a situation that develops. Get in line with the folks at Thumb Bank and make sure that your operation shows a positive bottom line. Thumb Bank, 13 locations throughout the Great Lakes Bay region and the Thumb, where relationships are built on trust. Market Report also brought to you by the folks at Michigan Truck Spring of Saginaw, your complete parts and service headquarters for light, medium, heavy-duty trucks and trailers, as well as buses and recreational vehicles. Quality parts, quality service, very competitive prices for well over 45 years. Michigan Truck Spring, 800-358-4751, or buy online at truckspring.com. And don't forget that service area, that is open Monday through Friday till 11. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, got a jobs report that came out. Payrolls dropped by 92,000 in February. Unemployment at 4.4%. That wasn't too good. And Trump is a little bit mad at Iran still, so he's going on. So that anyway, the stock market is taking a header. Crude oil is 88.49, so that ain't great. That's been a couple of years. That's a couple of year high anyway. We went from a 5-year low 2 months ago to a 2-year high, so not good. So anyway, that's kind of what the AI bots have grabbed onto, as far as pushing higher on the grain, pushing higher on the energy, pushing higher on the precious metals, and certainly lower on the stock market. Right now, the S&P is down about 0.83%, and down about almost 1% for the year to date. So not the end of the world. NASDAQ's down 1.5% year to date. Again, not the end of the world. Intrepid hit a new high today. Intrepid Potash hit a new high today. So anyway, cleared 44. It was $22 back in October. So smart people probably made 100% on their money, not me. And so that's the way she goes. Here's your numbers. The May corn, 456, up 2.5. September corn, 467.5, up 3.25. May soybeans, 1193.5, up 14.25. The September soybeans, 1152.75, up 10. The May wheat is 602.75, up 19. And September wheat is 22.5, up 17.75. Sugar cleared 1409, up 37 cents. Now the bad news, crude oil is 88.49, that's up $7.48. Heating oil is 363.98, up 2.5 cents. Gasoline 268.84, up 1.75 cents. Kind of minimal if you think about it. You know, crude oil up 9%, and these guys are up less than 1%. Natural gas is 315, that's up 12 cents, and that's about 4%. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar, US dollar buys $1.36.01 Canadian. That's down 71 ticks. The dollar buys 157.54 yen, down 3 ticks. The euro's at 116.06, down 1 tick. And the dollar's at 98.94, down 37.5 ticks. All the metals are up. Gold is at $51.46.40, up $67.70. Silver's up silver's at $83.93. That's up $2.05, 2.5%. Platinum's at $21.31.60. That's up $2.30. Copper's $5.77.30. That's up 2 cents.
This is going to be really interesting.
It just never ends.
No, and I'm looking at the farm commodity prices, what they're doing, and it's like we're oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of
with
weird.
Everything else.
I mean, it seems like it seems just like AI is running this whole thing, and if you get some green, it grabs onto it, runs it to the moon, which would be great. If we could see $8 corn again,
I'll take it.
Some of these, right?
Heck
who knows?
Yeah. Hey, you have a nice weekend, Doug.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We'll be right back.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor. Run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. It features a hydrostatic transmission and is simple to maintain. The Kubota B-Series. It makes the hard work look easy. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Carroll exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
It's kind of hard to believe, but guess what? They're working on a farm bill. A little bit more on that now as we slide over to CJ Miller with Michigan Ag Today.
Our farmers, ranchers, and rural communities need a new farm bill, and they don't need it next year or need it next Congress. They need it now.
And that was House Ag Chairman Glenn G.T. Thompson in his closing comments before the committee vote during the early morning hours on Thursday. Farm Bill 2.0 passed the committee by a vote of 34-17. All Republicans voted in favor of the legislation, along with 7 Democrats on the committee. During the markup process, members of both parties sparred with each other over additional protections for pesticide producers, as well as the Trump administration's current rule that blocks federal incentives for solar projects on farmland. Before the vote, Thompson accused Democrats of grandstanding.
Take the politics, take the Trump derangement syndrome out of it, pure and simple. This is a great farm bill.
Other provisions include a legislative fix for California's Prop 12. Congressman Eric Sorensen from Illinois tried to amend the bill to include a fix for year-round E15, but that was ruled to be outside of the committee's jurisdiction. Ranking member Angie Craig, a Democrat from Minnesota, referred to the bill as lackluster in her closing comments before the committee vote.
This remains a disappointing farm bill process that does not meet the moment. This bill doesn't lower input costs or stabilize our export markets. It doesn't help make food more affordable while prices surge under Trump's backward economic policies. And it's going to have challenges getting broad bipartisan support on the House floor.
The legislation now moves to the House for consideration. Meanwhile, Senate Ag Committee Chairman John Bozeman recently said he will introduce his own farm bill proposal in the coming months.
Along with us right now, Stephanie Zelenko with AgroLiquid. Stephanie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
Would be nice if we can get a farm bill, wouldn't it?
It would, for sure.
I think we really need it. Well, a lot of our specialty crops, there's quite a bit of concern yet with all that activity going on. So fingers crossed. We'll just have to see how everything shakes out. Speaking of fingers crossed, what's going on as far as the weather and how is it relating to our farm fields right now?
Well, we have been in a drought for a while now, so all of this rain they're calling for, as much as we want to think we can get to the fields and start field work, is a good thing to help replenish the the soil moisture that we've been lacking, over the last 12 or so months.
So right now, promising, but still hang loose for a while, right?
Yep, that's kind of the stage we're in now. We get those couple of warm days, we get excited that we should be out top dressing wheat or, start thinking about tillage. But we have to remember we're still early March, a lot of opportunity for some cold weather left. And so I think get prepared, but we don't need to start thinking about rushing to the fields right away.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Mother Nature's got a couple more things to take care of yet.
I'm sure there's still time for that.
You take care. Have a nice weekend, okay?
You too.
Stephanie Zelenko with AgriLiquid. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, your Dairyland seed headquarters. Serving you is their business, and they've got the folks there to help you. Freeland Bean and Grain, serving you since 1983. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so you stick around for that. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.